Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. A bit of Star Trek, not news, it's more opinion. This is from Screen Rant. They're saying Star Trek's future lies with Picard, not Strange New Worlds. So I haven't read the article. The headline just grabbed my attention. I thought, right, I'm going to do a video about this. So I could get angry, or I could agree with them entirely. Let's see. Right, there you go. Do you like the new look, by the way? Might work, it might not, I don't know. We'll see. Right, Star Trek's future lies with Picard, not Strange New Worlds. As I said, this is from Screen Rant, as usual. Links in the description. And don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment. Also hit the notification bell. And those icons, that's Rumble, Anchor.fm, which leads to Spotify, Amazon Music, podcasts, Google Play podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Links for those are all in the description. Right, where were we? Star Trek Strange New Worlds is off to a wildly successful start, and I really liked it, season 1, apart from the final episode. They've got a knack, as modern Star Trek, of doing crap final episodes. They've got a knack of making just crap series, really, but Strange New Worlds I really liked, apart from the crap final episode. Anyway, but the future of the franchise lies with the upcoming Star Trek Picard Season 3, which apparently is really good, but we will see. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is off to a hugely successful start, but the future of the franchise rests with Star Trek Picard Season 3. While Picard and Star Trek Discovery have been somewhat polarising shows, because they've been shit, among both audiences and critics, Strange New Worlds Season 1 was largely met with praise. Yes, I loved it, apart from that final episode. Notably for its embrace of the classic Star Trek the original series premise of space exploration and its character of the week structure reminiscent of Star Trek the Next Generation. Yeah, each character generally got their own episode. But I really liked it. It was really good. It wasn't perfect. There were some aspects to it that I didn't really like. I mean, all the rooms are massive, but some people have said, and there's been a theory floating around on the internet, why the inside of the Enterprise, all the rooms are massive, is that before Kirk gets out of it, it has a major refit. The crew is doubled. It's apparently under Pike it's 200 and something, under Kirk it's 400 and something. So it had a major refit, so all the rooms were made smaller to fit the extra crew in. So that makes sense, I suppose. Is it just excuses for bad set design? I don't know. Most Star Trek shows have struggled somewhat in their debut seasons, but Strange New Worlds understood exactly what it wanted to do from the very first episode. While not as controversial as the iconic Star Trek Discovery, I won't say it's iconic, Star Trek Discovery is garbage. But I did like Season 1, strangely enough, because it was new, and I didn't know where it was going. So I thought, well, I'm going to go for the ride, and I did quite enjoy it, and I must admit, I watched each episode several times. And then after that, when Season 2 got going, I thought, well, I quite like Pike, but then the story just went to pot, and I stopped doing multiple watches of the episode. I watched each episode, and that was it, I was done. Anyway, the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Picard have been met with a decidedly mixed response. Season 1 of Picard, I didn't hate, apart from the final episode, but I didn't really like it that much either. It was okay, and I did have huge reservations about it. Season 2 was just rubbish. Season 2 was just garbage. Apart from that episode 1, which I think Terry Matalas had quite a lot to do with the early, maybe the first and second episodes, I don't know. But if Season 3 of Picard is going to be like episode 1 of Season 2 of Picard, it might not be too bad. So anyway, whether it be the surprisingly violent deaths in Season 1, on what? Oh, that's it, yeah, of Picard, yeah. There were a decapitation, wasn't there, and stuff like that. Yeah. And Echeb got his eye ripped out, didn't he? Unbelievable. Or the Europa mission plot that didn't always make sense in Season 2, because it just didn't make sense, it was stupid. Anyway, Star Trek Picard has not enjoyed the same level of adulation that Strange New Worlds has to this point. Regardless, it would be a mistake to assume the future of the ever-expanding Star Trek universe will be built around Strange New Worlds and not Picard. And he says, why Strange New Worlds is a narrative dead end? Well, it is because it's a prequel, isn't it? So we know where it's going to end up. We know it's going to end up with Kirk taking over the Enterprise as Pike goes on to become, is it Fleet Captain? I don't know what a Fleet Captain is, but he becomes one of them. Is that like a junior admiral kind of thing, or below a Commodore? I've no idea. Becomes that, and then is it like about a year or two before Kirk takes the Enterprise? He's in his accident, isn't he, with the Delta radiation. Right, Star Trek Strange New Worlds gets so much right about the final frontier that it's easy to assume the franchise will build around it. But there's a harsh reality about the series that there's simply no avoiding. Strange New Worlds is a prequel where the fates of most of its characters are already known. Anson Mount's Captain Christopher Pike is a revelation, but he must inevitably give way to James T. Kirk and the events of the original series. I've said it before. I think I said it in my reviews of Strange New Worlds. I suspect they might try and remake the original series, in their own image, so to speak. Not in its entirety, but pick out some adventures and do some new ones with the new Captain Kirk and crew, I suspect. I could be wrong. It all depends, doesn't it? We'll see how it goes. Ethan Peck's iteration of Spock is fascinating. It's not too bad in Strange New Worlds. I hated him in Discovery and the Star Trek short, or whatever the hell they're called, where he was singing in the turbo lift with number one. God, I hated that. Anyway, but it will never be able to match the original version played by Leonard Nimoy over 6 decades. Well, yeah, obviously. Not only do the characters of Strange New Worlds largely have set futures, but the show is set in an era of Star Trek that has been well covered by multiple projects. Part of the reason Star Trek Discovery left the 23rd century behind in Season 3 was to break free of the narrative shackles that held it back by virtue of being a prequel set so close to the events of the original series. Part of the charm of Strange New Worlds is the fact it embraces the aesthetic and ethos of the original series. Not really the aesthetic, it looks totally different, doesn't it? But that virtue means it's eventually going to hit a narrative dead end. I think part of the charm for me is seeing how they deal with it. Will they end up looking... Will we see the Enterprise get its refit to look like the original series Enterprise? No, I don't think we are. I don't think they're going to address that. And if they do remake the original series, Adventures with Captain Kirk, I think we'll still have the Enterprise from Strange New Worlds with it looking more like the refit Enterprise from Star Trek the Motion Picture, really, but with round nacelles instead of rectangular ones. Anyway, I'm waffling. Picard will push the story of Star Trek forward, and there's Captain Riker and Commander 7 of 9, or is it Commander Annika Hansen? No idea. But it's the lovely Jerry Ryan, who isn't aging. She must be on the same stuff that Tom Cruise is on. And there's the USS Titan behind. I don't like that. Oh, can you see it? Oh, sorry. There's a mouse pointer. The deflected section, the secondary hull, it's ugly. It's ugly, is that, isn't it? But anyway, because it's a Neo-Constitution class. They've tried to make it look a bit like a Constitution class, but that is ugly. They should have rounded that off more, in my opinion. Anyway, Star Trek Picard Season 3 is in a perfect position to expand the scope of the franchise on the small screen. While Season 3 may be the end of the story for Jean-Luc Picard, the end of the story at the end of Season 1, spoilers, he dies. He's now a robot. He's an android. He's not the real Jean-Luc Picard. Ping, as soon as I start doing this, somebody starts sending me messages every bloody time. It's still highly likely the adventures of the 25th century will continue on with popular legacy characters like Will Riker and 7 of 9. As showrunner Terry Matalas, or as I like to pronounce it, Matalas, has noted, Picard Season 3 is not only a continuation of The Next Generation, it's continuing the legacy of the other 90 Star Trek shows like Deep Space Nine and Voyager. And there's the trailer if you want to look at that. It's not yet clear how exactly Star Trek Picard Season 3 will push the overall narrative of the franchise forward. The show's plot has been heavily guarded, with hints of a story much wider in scope than the relatively personal stories told during the show's first 2 seasons. But embracing the time frame and characters of TNG, DS9 and Voyager, arguably Star Trek's most successful era, seems like an obvious way to move the franchise into new and original territory while honouring what came before. Oh, and that's it, right. So yeah, I see that. That we're entering an era, entering an era with Picard Season 3 that we've not done in Star Trek. It's in the 25th century now, isn't it? It's set in, what is it, about 2402 or something like that. So we're in the 25th century of Star Trek now. No Buck Rogers for a few years. Only if he'll get a mention. I doubt it. Whereas Discovery went 1,000 years in the future, didn't it? Nearly. Which I think were a mistake. I think they should have just gone to another... I think they should have gone to the mirror universe or to another timeline. That's what I think they should have done with that. Got it out of the way entirely, so it's not affecting anything in canon Star Trek. But Strange New Worlds, like I say, it's kind of stuck in it. We're moving towards the time when Pike gives up the captain's chair for Captain Kirk. Look at that. Sorry, it's just grabbed my attention. That's not the bridge window, is it? Is it? It can't be. That can't be. It's too big, isn't it? The bridge is above that, surely. Is that an observation window? I don't know. If that's the bridge window, they've got that wrong. But I hate bridge windows. I hate them. Don't have them. It's a view screen, not a window. But they've gone with that aesthetic. Thanks, JJ. Thank you very much, JJ Abrams. He's the one that brought in bridge windows, a moron. But anyway, yes, Strange New Worlds is stuck with where it's headed. Unless, as I said, they're going to remake the original series in the Kurtzman-verse image, which I suspect they might do, or maybe not a series, maybe the occasional episode, or whatever happened to TV movies. Whatever happened to them? Movies of the week. Why did they do the occasional Star Trek TV movie? It's just a thought. Then you don't have to commit, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars to an entire series. Just do a $10 or $20 million movie every once a year or something. For TV. As long as it's a good story, the fans will accept it. As long as it's a good story. And that's what's more important than lens flares and CG up the arse. See, I'm getting mad already. Because I know they're going to make a mess of it. Right, let's get rid of that. Right, we'll leave it there. I just thought I'd read that and see what my initial reaction was. And there it was. I think they're going to make a mess of it in the end. But I hope not. Robert Marbinet and the Popcast guys say Season 3 of Star Trek Picard is really, 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 really good. And I hope they're not lying. We've not long to go. Is it middle of February it's out? Is it February 16th-ish? I can't remember. So we'll see then. I don't know how they've got to see it. Is there a pirate copy floating about? Is it on the internet? Not that I condone piracy. But, I want to see it now. Never mind in February. But, they have connections. It'd be nice to have connections, wouldn't it? Right, anyway, I'm waffling, so I'm going to leave it there. So, wherever you are in the universe, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the